guys, it is John C. Morley here, Sir Entrepreneur. It is so great to be with you tonight. It is a Sunday evening, and it is just great to be with you here. If you're new to IFYL, Inspirations for Your Life, I'd invite you right now to go ahead and open up your camera app, point over the QR code like so, touch the yellow ellipse, and you'll get my link tree with lots of great information to improve the quality of your life and so many of the people you care so much about. If you're not new and you're coming back, well, welcome back. It's so wonderful to have you back here because you've been supporting me for all this time. I appreciate that. And I want to especially thank those people that are coming back at 1 o'clock in the morning, 3 a.m., 6 a.m., 5 p.m., or even lunchtime to watch the replay because I know you're busy and you can't always watch it right when I'm streaming it, but it's great that you can just watch it anytime that you have availability and you can just watch it. You can rewatch. So great to have you here. Thank you so much for coming. And let's get into the master topic. You know how we work, everyone. We start on a Saturday, which was yesterday. We roll all the way through the weekend, and the weekend we end up on a Friday with a master topic, every day getting a little more granular. This week we have a great master topic. Here it is, everyone. How to Be a Friend, Series 2, Show 5, Episode 2. All right, let's tell you how to read that. So first, How to Be a Friend is the name of the master topic. Series 2 means we're in year 2, and Show 5 means this is our 5th show of the year, and we're in episode number 2. All right, so when you hear that word friend, right, I want to share something with you. One is, no person is your friend who demands your silence or denies your right to grow. Alice Walker. There is no surrender foundation for a beautiful friendship than a mutual taste in literature. P.G. Wodehouse. Why is it, he said one time at the subway entrance, I feel I've known you so many years? Because I like you, she said, or he said, and I don't want anything from you. Ray Bradbury. Do I not destroy my enemies when I make them my friends? Do I not destroy my enemies when I make them my friends? That's very powerful. If you have 2 friends in your lifetime, you're lucky. If you have 1 good friend, you're more than lucky. There are no faster or firmer friendships than those formed between people who love the same books. Irving Stone. Words are easy like the wind. Faithful friends are hard to find. Friendship. The worst part of success is trying to find someone who's happy for you. Bette Midler. There are some things you can't share without ending up liking each other, and knocking out a 12-foot mountain troll is one of them. J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Silence. Make the real conversations between friends. Not the saying, but the never needing to say that counts. Margaret Lee Runback. I'm glad you're here with me, here at the end of all things, Sam. J.R.R. Tolkien, The Return of the King. A snowball in the face is surely the perfect beginning to a lasting friendship. Marcus Zukac, The Book Thief. And one more. The glory of friendship is not the outstretched hand, not kindly a smile, nor the joy of companionship. It is the spiritual inspiration that comes to one when you discover that someone else believes in you and is willing to trust you with a friendship. Ralph Waldo Emerson. I think a lot of times in life, everyone, people get, how can I say, they get sidetracked by what's going on in their life. And sometimes they go through all this stuff, right? And although this stuff sounds interesting, they don't realize that other people are going through stuff too, right? They don't realize that. And so when we think about the fact that other people have a life too, does that change your life? It can. But one of the things I want to share with you tonight is sometimes people get put down, whether it's in grammar school, preschool, high school, college, or maybe even at your job or volunteering. People forget that we all live in glass houses. What does that mean? It means that if we all live in glass houses, that means we all can receive damage if stones are thrown at them. But it's funny because when they throw stones at you and you break, they don't ever believe that you can throw a stone back. Now, you probably won't, but understand that we all live in glass houses hopefully gets you to think of that in a different perspective, a different way. And so sometimes people just need to friend themselves first. If you can't find a way to friend someone, then there's obviously something wrong. Maybe you're being too opinionistic. I don't know. Could be something, right? And I have to tell you that it's pretty interesting. Okay. Interesting in the way that all people have a very special life. They have a special life, ladies and gentlemen. And by having that special life, people don't realize what's happening. And so, what I want to share with you tonight is that everyone has their own stuff, right? And so, when you believe that, you're perfect, which we're not, I'm far from it. But when people believe they're perfect, okay, the only thing you are perfect, ladies and gentlemen, about is that you're perfectly you. And that might be daunting to some, but it is the truth. It's the truth. And what kind of truth would that be? The truth that sometimes might confuse you. It might, for whatever reason, put you a little bit taken back from where you really are. And I think this happens because we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. I mean, let's face it. I want to share a story. It's a very emotional story. I had a very good friend when I was in college. And this one friend was pretty much a loner. He never really wanted to talk to anybody. And, it didn't really mind me that much that he wasn't, open to talking to people. I didn't care. His two parents were dentists and they were really nice people. And I'm not going to give you his exact name, but this was a person that had a lot of things wrong internally. And I don't mean that they were sick and that they had cancer or anything like that. No, but they were more sick in the mind. They would never harm or hurt anybody else, but they would harm and hurt themselves. And what I want to share with you is the fact that this friend who really didn't want to be my friend in the beginning and then later on decided to be my friend, which I was happy to be his friend. People in his high school and grammar school days made him feel like crap. Okay. What does that mean? I think it means something spectacular. It means that things are different. What does that mean to you? I think it means that you, as a person, get a little confused. You get a little confused. And so, what does that mean to you when I say that you get a little confused? By getting a little confused, you take things out of the people. So here's what happened with my friend. He was a great guy, and I can tell you that it changed in a certain way. What was that way? It was a way that was different. A way that was different. A different way that would probably help someone. And by that way, you figured you were doing the best for everyone. Okay? You figured you were doing the best for everyone. And by doing the best for everyone, you figured, okay, this is great, this is fine. But for whatever reason, you don't understand why something is happening the way it is. You don't understand why. And when I say you don't understand why, it's like you're not sure what things are supposed to be about. Okay? You're not sure what they're supposed to be about. And because you're not sure what they're supposed to be about, it's like you try to overcompensate for things. You try to overcompensate for things. And so overcompensating might seem like it's the right thing to do, but it can actually get you into trouble. It can get you into trouble. How so? Well, because if you're doing one thing, and let's say you don't believe in that, and all of a sudden something happens, then there could be a challenge. Could be a big challenge. And so, how do you live your life when you feel like you're inferior? I'll tell you that it may seem a little bit different. And by different, I mean like you have to know or be everything, right? And for whatever reason, you can't. So, this one friend of mine had done something one time. Now, I, again, don't judge anybody, but he slit his wrist. And I learned about this. And I figured, something happened. Maybe it was medical related. I don't know. I didn't get that involved with it. However, I learned from his parents that he was extremely depressed. Didn't know why he was depressed, but he told me he was very, very depressed. And all I wanted to do with him was just basically be his friend. Didn't want anything else, just wanted to be his friend. And he wasn't open to that in the beginning. So, I had the olive branch. He didn't want to accept it. But then later on, he decided uh, to take the olive branch and start being my friend. And I'll tell you that that was amazing. So he would never trust anybody. He would never believe anybody. And while I was hanging out with him, his mom would always tell me, like, John, you're like the greatest thing in his life. He really enjoys spending time with you. And I said, well, this is great. I do too. And he hadn't tried to slash his wrist anymore. He had really been very happy. Even when he didn't do great at a test, he was like, it wasn't a big deal. My friendship meant something to him. Well, it was the end of the semester. And we were all, getting ready to go home for the holidays. And so he said to me, well, before you go home, maybe the week before, maybe you can come up to my place and we can hang out. I'm like, okay, sure. So it was about maybe, I would say, the week before final exams. So that was the weekend that I was going to go visit him. I think it was a Friday afternoon. He had left already. And didn't have a lot of information where he lived. I know what stop. He was like 1 or 2 stops after me, New Jersey. And so I think it was Metro Park or something. So I took the train to Metro Park, like he told me. And something interesting happened along the way. I should say I tried to take the train to Metro Park. I was leaving from Connecticut, and at that time, they had basically the line that would operate electrically, okay, which was past New Haven and from New Haven, Wallen, Meriden, Windsor, Windsor Locks, Springfield, Hartford, was all done with basically an engine that needed fuel to power it, not electric. Now they've changed all this. So the whole line is electric and they don't have to change the engines from electric to diesel or whatever they used. And so I got on the train. I was in plenty of time and everything was fine. I sat through the changing of the engines from electric to the coal or the diesel, whatever they used. And so we got to New York, and we stopped in New York for like a half hour, and there was some type of issue. And so for whatever reason, we couldn't leave New York. Now, it was only 15 minutes to get where I needed to get to, which was where I live, one more stop. And then it was only 15 minutes after that. So it was 30 minutes. And I said, I'm going to be here right on time. Everything's great. So the train was getting delayed more. And, we're getting to the time where he's supposed to be there. And I try to call his cell phone, and he doesn't answer. I figure, okay, no problem. I'll just call him, when the train leaves. So about an hour later, I called him again, and it went right to voicemail. Didn't even ring, went right to voicemail. Okay. And so I don't know where he lives. All I know is he's picking me up at the train station, and we're going to his house. I didn't get to the train station till almost 2.5 hours later. I tried to call him several times, and he didn't answer. Like I said, I'm there now 2.5 hours late. I feel terrible. I don't have anybody else's phone number. I don't have his home phone number. I just have his cell phone number. I don't have his parents' number. I don't have anything. And here I am in this town, Metro Park. I don't even know where he lives. Nothing. Of course, them both being doctors, the parents, they were unlisted. So there was no way to find them. I even called the number for non-published. And I said, hey, I'm here. I'm at this train station. Well, we can't give you the number. We'll reach out to the person. We understand your situation, but we can't give you their number. I'm like, okay, fine. So I sit and I wait. I was like, should I go back home? What should I do? I'm like, oh, I'm just going to sit here and wait. Another hour goes by. And I I get a call from his mother. She says, "You at the train station?" I said, yes. I said, "This is." She says, "How long you been there?" I said, "Well, that's the thing. The train was like 2.5 hours late. I've been here probably over 3.5, 4 hours." Oh my gosh. Um. All right, I'll be right down. So she comes down to pick me up. She asks me, am I hungry? I said, yes, I'm hungry. I said, but I'll wait for. I'm not going to give his name. I'll wait for Michael. That wasn't his name, but I'll wait for Michael. And she said, "Let me just give you dinner." She says, and we'll catch up with him later. And so she made me a great dinner, and I'm like, I really wish I could wait for Michael. I said, he likes this same thing too. He loves this dish. And then she comes into the room where I'm eating dinner. I'm eating dinner basically by myself, and her husband, who's a dentist as well, comes into the room, and he says to me, he says, "What happened today?" I said, "The train was a couple hours late." And so his father's like, "You never called us." I said, "I did. I gave Michael a call, and he didn't answer. In fact, I gave him a call maybe, I don't know, 5 minutes before I was supposed to arrive when I realized we were going to be like really late." And he didn't answer. And so I tried again, no answer. So I said, "I'll just wait till we get there." We got delayed in New York for a while. And he's like, "Oh my gosh." I said, "I am so sorry." I said, I didn't have your phone number." He's like, "We should have given you our number." I said, "I didn't have your number. I didn't know where you lived. I didn't know anything. I even called non-published because I didn't know your phone number. I was never given your phone number. I was just given Michael's phone number. Apparently, Michael has his own number. You have your own number. I have my own number at home, but I know I gave him both numbers. I gave him my private line and I gave him my parents' number." He's like, "Yeah, Michael doesn't usually give out the home number, but he really should have given it to you." I said, "It's no big deal." I said, "So where is Michael?" And she says to me, "Do you have enough to eat?" I said, "I'm fine." She says, "John, we have some bad news for you." I said, "What do you mean you have some bad news for me?" She said, "Michael's no longer with us." And I got this chill through my whole body. Michael's no longer with us. Now, um, I'm not sure I'm getting you. So we walk upstairs. She says, "This is his room." I said, "It's a very nice room." She says, "And this is his desk." I said, "Oh, very nice." And there's an envelope on the desk. And the envelope has my name on it, to John from Michael. And they already had opened it, obviously. And they said, "I hope you didn't mind we opened it." I said, "Oh, sure." So we opened the envelope and I was like, I start reading it, but I'm getting like chills in my spine. I'm not really sure what happened. I'm trying not to let myself race. And the letter starts out something like this. Just remember: "Dear John, I thought you were supposed to come out today to visit with me so we could hang out. I had lots of things planned, and I know we would have had a great time if you would have showed up." I'm not liking this. She's like, "Keep reading." And I was like, "You and I have become very good friends, or so I thought. You gave me purpose. You gave me a meaning to be here. And I was so excited waiting for you to come today. And when you didn't show up, and I waited 10 minutes at the train station and you still didn't show, you didn't call, I went back home. I drank. I got depressed. And I'm writing you this letter because I'm going to take my life. This just really like sent a gut wrench through me. And he said, I told you about all those times where I slipped my wrist, and that no one really cared about me. I said, well, your parent. I'm saying to myself, except for my parents. I said, well, I'm saying this to myself. I'm just reading the letter, but I can't be in college and only have my friends as my parents, or my parents as my friend. I think he said, have my parents as my only friends. And I thought you and I were really great friends. And if you can't be here for me, there's no more reason for me to keep living. I wanted to cry so hard. I looked at his parents and I said, I never get this emotional here, guys. I said, Mr. and Mrs., whatever their names were, I'm sorry. And we took the letter and we went downstairs, and she says, would you like a piece of cake? And I said, okay. And I'm crying, and she holds my hand, and I don't know what to say. And she says, John, we don't blame you for this. And I told her, I said, when I first wanted to be your son's friend, he kind of threw me to the side. Told me I was useless and that he didn't have time to be friends with someone like me. I felt a little sad. And then I realized we were never going to be friends. And she said to me, do you know why he did that? I'm not sure. He did that because he was getting close to you as a really good friend. And he pushed you away because he believed you were going to push him away. And when he pushed you away that first time, he told us. And we said, we think John's different. And so they kind of encouraged him to at least give me a chance to try to be friends with me. And I think it was, I don't know, the next semester he came back and he was really happy, and he was a little more friendly. And, I think he actually was nice to me. Yeah, he considers you his best friend. I I felt like I was his best friend, but for a while, I wasn't because he said he didn't want a friend like me. He wanted you as a friend, John, more than you know. And so today, um, explain that letter to you a little better because we probably know our son maybe as well as you, maybe even a little better. He felt that you were going to come out. And when you didn't even reach out, I did reach out. I know. He was very temperamental, as you remember. I know. And he just felt that because you never came out when you promised him you would, and he didn't even call to say why. Well, wouldn't he ever thought that the trains are running late or something? I mean, I don't own the trains. I know. Michael was very smart. But when it came to logic, he just felt that everyone was against him and that everyone was just trying to manipulate him. But he trusted you. And when Paul and I came home, we found him in this chair with his arms all slit and the blood just oozed out of him. And he had to be bleeding for I don't know how long, but if you slit yourself like that, you're not going to live for long. And I know, John, that you were probably the best friend that he ever had. Yeah. I just wish that train would have been on time. Me too. But it wasn't my fault. We know it was not your fault at all. I even tried to find the name of your practice, but I didn't even know where it was. If it was in this town, another time I tried. I know, John. And I can tell you right now that he misses you. And I want to just take this moment right now. I'm not going to say his real name, but he knows his name. Michael, I know that you didn't like me in the beginning. I didn't know the reason why you didn't like me wasn't because of me. It was because of you and thinking that I was going to push you away. I'm very sad. Although I don't think of you every day, I do think of you sometimes. And I'm very sad that we never got to know each other better. I thought your sense of humor was interesting. It was dry. And I always took you very seriously, but after a while, I did realize you were just kidding. You had a very interesting personality, and you even told other people that you hated me. And I didn't know why. I'm guessing you were just jealous and you didn't want other people to be my friend. I take this moment right now, Michael, again, that's not your real name, to remember your mother, your father, your brothers and sisters, to any of your relatives or loved ones that are with us or that are passed along. I felt, Michael, that even though I know sometimes you had hurt yourself and you did things, I knew you were never going to hurt me. And I think other people never wanted to get close to you because they were afraid of you, afraid that you might hurt them. I don't know why, Michael, but I just had this sense that you were angry, but you were never going to hurt me. I remember when I think it was by the swimming pool, and there was a guy there, and he was going to knock me in the pool. I probably would have fell in the pool. Nothing would have happened. I just would have been a little surprised. I was standing there. You came in like a madman out of hell. And before I even knew what was up, you gave the guy a bloody lip and you knocked him down. And I said to you, what what did you do that for? And everyone else was like, your friend's nuts. This is why nobody likes you. Me, no, him. And he said to everyone, this guy was up to no good. John was standing by the pool, and he was going to knock him in. And he wasn't even dressed for the pool. And so he's holding the guy in like this head clench, and he says to him, and let's just say the guy's name is Jeffrey. He said, Jeffrey, somebody else talked to him. Is that true? Were you really going to knock him in the pool? I would have if this maniac didn't come out of the way. And we laughed after that. He didn't protect a lot of people. But I remember how you had my back. I remember being at a party and I was just having a soda at that time. I drank some soda and I was getting the soda and I put the soda down and I was about to get back to my soda and pick it up. And you knocked it out of my hands. And they said, what a jerk. Why'd you invite this guy? So you should let him to leave. I said, if he's going to leave, I'm going to leave too. Okay, fine. So he left and I said, Michael, I said, I got to ask you, why'd you knock that drink out of my hand? It wasn't even liquor. And he looked at me and he says, John, you're never going to believe me. Okay. I said, why? The girl on the right, when you turned your head, I saw her put some white stuff in your drink. Really? He's like, you don't believe me, do you? I said, I absolutely believe you. I mean, I don't think you're crazy. I didn't want something to happen to you, and I didn't know what she put in there. And that was twice. And I guess that showed me that he was never going to harm or hurt me. but other people would never give them that chance. So you have to friend yourself. You have to go by your instincts. And you have to realize one of the most precious things we have in life is our life and everyone else's. Someone said to me one time, one of the most precious things you can do in life is to lay your life for a friend, to risk your life for a friend. Michael did that so many times. Michael, if you were here right now, I would say thank you. I would say thank you for helping me. Thank you for protecting me in your weird ways. Thank you for going out of your way to know that I was okay. And you might wonder, how did I meet Michael? Well, at the university, I did peer counseling and I helped counsel people that were going to commit suicide or overdose, etc. And one night, Michael called the line and I felt like I made a friend. And he says to me, "Can I call you again?" Um, and I said, "Yeah." And he says, "Oh, well, just when you're working, right?" I said, and he said to me, I was kind of hoping I could call you, like not at the center. And after we talked a couple more times, he called, felt a little better. I said, "Would you like to meet for lunch?" So we met for lunch, and he wanted to meet me, but then he just kind of pushed me away. And then when I didn't do anything and I just kind of laid back after the holidays, he charged in and was like so emphatic about him wanting to be my friend. And when I said to him, I said, "Why now?" I said, "You hated me." He says, "I don't hate you." He says, "I'm just a little messed up in the head." And if that train would have been on time, I can't blame the train. I know I can't. He still would be here today. Who knows? I might even still have been hanging out with him. He was a friend that you could call all hours of the night. I remember myself having a stomach ache one time, and he gave me his private number, and I called him, and I told him I wasn't feeling great right now, and I got to go. And he's like, "No," he's like, "You call me back." I said, "I'm not going to call you back. It's going to be like 3 in the morning." He's like, "I don't care." He's like, "You call me back, or I'm going to call you back. I swear." At 3 in the morning, he's like, "Yes, you better call me back." I said, "Are you going to sleep?" He's like, "Nope, I'm staying up." I said, "Are you crazy?" "I'm staying up till I know you're okay." And it was like I got $1 million. And the only thing I could just say, Michael, is why didn't you believe me? Why would you think that I wasn't going to show up and not be your friend? This is a very emotional show tonight, guys. I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It is a privilege, a pleasure, and an honor to be with you. And remember, before you can friend anyone, you've got to befriend yourself first. And if you're turning to anything, drugs, alcohol, etc., realize that these are all things that are temporary and they're not going to make you feel good forever. People make us feel good. Being our own friend makes us feel good. That's what makes us feel good. John C. Morley is who I am. I'm a serial entrepreneur. It's great being with you tonight. I hope you'll like, love, support the channel. Definitely tag your friends, colleagues, and associates. Share this out with everyone you know on social media. And then be sure to go to my YouTube channel, John Space C Space MRLY Space Serial Entrepreneur. Look for that key phrase to help keep our content free. Make the choice, ladies and gentlemen, to buy my team and I a cup of coffee, a bowl of fruit, or a savory dessert. We'll be so grateful with those pennies and dollars. We'll invest them into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, even new facilities, to give you the most jaw-dropping, empowered content to change your life. Remember to befriend yourself and befriend others. It might just save their life. Have yourself a great rest of the night or morning, and I'll see you real soon, everyone. I hope that this message was impactful, and I hope that it might just save somebody's life soon. Take care.